believe in Bible? What
You have to
principles
say
do you
R word or
believe in?
essay. Oh, well, it's gonna just be a description of my psychological preferences. I don't
Oh,
know. In
what
the context of
psychological
your
preferences
Bible,
go
I
off
mean,
of
your God
what?
quite literally genocides people, kills babies. Your God also, I appreciate the cap. Thank you so much. Allows for child rape to occur. He allows for child sex trafficking to occur. He allowed for the Holocaust to occur, and didn't stop any of these things, even though he's an all-knowing, all-powerful being that created the universe.
But if he stopped it, it would make you not have your free preference to choose him. If I do something for you, you're going to choose me. But if I allow things to happen and
If
make
it's so
you
free, why does he
responsible and
threaten me with
accountable,
hell?
well, it's free if you don't. You have a
So
wait
free,
for
so
that.
free, right? That he threatens me with hell if I don't accept his
Yeah, you're
beliefs.
free to choose what you want to do.
Yeah,
Or you're gonna,
I'm
or
free.
you're
I'm
gonna,
free to get tortured, right, or to follow him. Wow, what a free choice.
Parker, you're getting really deep right now. Okay, I just want to say Trump
I
20.
know.
That's all, Parker. That's it.
I know, but like you should have reason to hold your positions, right? And I think that a
told
big
you.
reason why you hold these different types of positions is because you've grown up in a society that has normalized believing in things with absolutely no evidence. That's why I have
Oh my
conversations about
gosh.
this all the time. And I don't just say this to Trump supporters. I've gone to people who do lives here on TikTok who are Democrats, and I've said the exact same thing to them, right? It's completely about your critical thinking skills necessary to be able to identify what's true and false. And fundamentally, your faith in your religion limits your ability to do that in plenty of circumstances.
My faith does not eliminate me to doing anything. It actually opens things up more. It actually helps
It makes
me.
you susceptible to conspiracy.
No, it doesn't.
It does, and that's why you're
No.
following the Trump conspiracies.
I'm not following the Trump conspiracy.
Do you think the election was stolen in 2020?
I believe a lot of elections were stolen.
There you go. You see what I mean? Was 2016 stolen?
I believe a lot of elections were stolen, Parker.
And wait, if 2020 was stolen, why wasn't 2016 stolen?
Parker, we don't know these things. Just because his stuff came to the light doesn't mean
You don't know.
everybody else's stuff is clean.
So you believe this without evidence. This is exactly what I mean. You are subject to believing in conspiracies
Lord.
because you've been normalized to believe in things with absolutely no evidence. You quite literally just proved my point exactly.
Parker, you win. Trump 2024.
It's not about winning. It's about you changing the way that you view things, right? The way you change the way that you come to conclusions. Because fundamentally, you have to have a process to have a different differentiation between different claims to know which ones are true and which ones are false. If not, I can just assume all of the accusations targeted towards Trump are true. And now you believe that it's justified to believe he's guilty of rape. Appreciate the hand arts. Thank you so much.
I understand what you're saying, Parker, but I'm still going to vote for Trump in 2024. Because I gave you the reason.
Tell me what I
why.
just said, Renee.
Yes, Parker. Listen.
What did I just say?
You said a lot of words that were just great, but you're
A
saying
lot of
you're pretty
words
much
that
saying
you didn't
I'm
listen
just gonna-
to.
No, I heard
This
you.
is
You said
exactly
that-
what I mean. This
No,
is
you
the
said that
confirmation
you're gonna
bias.
Make your decisions based off of things that you don't have proof. You don't want to research. You don't want to make your decisions based off of those things. You're pretty much saying that I'm just going off of what I'm being told and not really taking the time to really
You're
make
picking
sure
your feelings
I know.
over the facts.
Right, but here's my thing about it. We can research till we're all day long about the pros and the cons. We're going to find equal wrong on both sides.
No, we're
equal
not.
Right on both sides.
No,
Are
we're
you going to
not.
find any
Where's
wrong?
the equal
Are you
wrong?
going to find any wrong? Are you going to find
I
any
find wrong
Biden?
with Biden, but it's not equal. Like 2 plates of shit's
Does it
obviously more than
matter?
1 plate of shit.
But does it matter? If something's dirty,
It
it's
does.
a little bit dirty, big dirty, it's dirty.
Oh,
Like,
it
if
does
something-
matter. Hey, I'll ask you a question, Renee. Would you rather have 1 plate of shit or 2 plates of shit?
It's bullshit. I don't want no plates of shit.
No, obviously you want none, but would you rather have
Yeah.
1 plate of shit or 2 plates of shit?
Does it matter? Because shit is shit.
Oh, so you would be indifferent to 1 plate of shit or 2 plates of shit?
Will I have to eat the shit?
Yes.
I don't want no shit, Parker.
Of course. So would you prefer 1 plate of shit or 2 plates of shit?
What I'm saying, Parker, I hear what you're saying, okay?
You're going to prefer the 1 plate of shit, right?
One, okay? I'm going to choose one, but what I'm saying
Obviously.
but what I'm saying is, Parker, you can't sit there and say, well, this person's wrong and this person is wrong, but because he has more wrong, or because I believe he has more wrong based off my perspective and my position, even though I wasn't there, even though I really don't know, I'm hearing what's being said.
Have
can
you
read
been to
all day
Australia?
long,
You believe
but
Australia exists, right? Appreciate the handout. Thank you so much. So evidence doesn't require you being there.
I know, but a lot of things are fake news. Like, who's to know?
And how do you know what's fake and what's not? Use evidence. There you go.
Okay. So you have a lot of evidence for your evidence, right?
Yes.
Okay, Parker. I don't know. I feel like if they're both wrong, then you have to just go off of your perspective, your position as far as what you like about someone versus the other. I think Trump is the underdog, and he honestly, through his rise and him being the president, is going to show Americans that no matter what you've gone through, no matter how much opposition you faced, you may have had it all and lost it, you can get back to the top if you continue and persevere. Like, he is showing us consistency and fighting for something. I've never seen a president fight for something and want something so bad.
Daily, think of the
Like,
galaxy.
he wants it so.
Oh, she just got removed for community guidelines. And oh my God, Charles, thank you so much for the $100 on Venmo. Can we get a W Charles in the comment section? Oh my gosh, W Charles in the comments. W for the $100 Venmo. Oh my God, Charles, you're going absolutely wild. Everyone's been going wild today. I appreciate everyone so much. We're gonna go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024. W fucking Charles, I appreciate y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm in my 40s.
For sure. Will you vote for Trump in 2024?
He's the one on the ticket, and if it's between him and any other Democrat, especially Biden, yes, he's going to get my vote.
Why so?
Because when he was in office, we were doing well. I looked at the financials of our country during his term. I looked at the unemployment rates, the low inflationary rates, and we just kept up. I also liked his policies against child exploitation. I liked his border policy.
You're cutting out,
the fact
by the
that
way.
he was having children DNA tests to make sure. Hold on one second.
So I'll
Let's
address
see
some
if I
things
can get a
while you
better
fix
signal.
that. So you said unemployment and inflation. There was lower unemployment under Biden's administration. As it relates to inflation, you'd have to give
didn't
me
say
any
that. I
reason
didn't say that.
specifically that Biden caused global inflation,
didn't-
as this wasn't specific to the United States. It was a global phenomena.
So if we were looking at 2020 when the CARES Act was signed and it was coming out of the budget of 2020, which added 2.5-3 trillion to the deficit because of what was necessary in a historic pandemic year. Prior to that, and even in 2020, our inflation was actually, it went down in 2020, and the wages increased rapidly in 2020. And then on the flip side, when Biden took office, we had the highest inflation in 40 years. We also had wages not keeping up with inflation. Trump handed him off a very nice economy, and Biden didn't do a very good job of maintaining that economy. So regardless if we're going to use a pandemic in 2020 or 2021, we could see that it affected one president much more than the other, even though it was equal on both sides. Like, legitimately, we were already dealing with a pandemic in 2020. So,
No,
also,
real median income was decreasing under Trump's administration.
No, it wasn't.
You want to bet?
no, it was. Yeah, I've been onto the BLS.org website.
Yeah,
So
I'm currently looking at the St. Louis Federal Reserve right now, and you can see real median income at 2019 at the high, and it decreased in 2020 was at 76,000, and in 2019 was 78,000.
Because of a historic pandemic in the first part of 2020, many people went on
So
unemployment.
again, we're seeing
as
we're seeing
another
very
fact-
high level of inflation due to global gas prices being higher, with OPEC limiting the distribution of oil worldwide, plus the Russia-Ukraine situation, which both would have happened regardless of a Trump or Biden administration.
Let's talk about, no, actually, I don't think it would have happened with Trump, because NATO established a position within the Ukraine border, which did not happen under Trump and was negotiated not to happen under Trump.
Wait, just
so
because it didn't happen under Trump doesn't mean it was caused to be that way because of that. Because there was 14.7%. Hold up, let me finish, please.
We could both speculate whether or not anything could have happened under Trump, right? But while he was in office, while he was in office, that didn't happen under Trump. So we can use a little bit of an educated guess as to, since it was stable under Trump, that it could have continued to be stable, but both sides would be speculation, right? Also, I really appreciated, like I said, Trump's border policy. I did really like his EOs against
Can we not pivot real quick?
I'm not, well, I mean, I feel like we again, the speculation would be on both sides with Ukraine. Now, I think it's kind of ironic that Biden has been in office for 50 years.
Can I address that?
He's done more for Ukraine in 3.5 years than he's done for the American people in 50 years.
That's bullshit, and you know that's bullshit. He's one of
No,
the most
it's not.
accomplished politicians, even if you disagree with the policy. He's gotten plenty of things passed, whether he was vice president, president of the United States. I mean, I can mention multiple right now. The Inflation Reduction Act, the American Rescue Plan, Build Back Better, the insulin cap, push the confetti, thank you so much.
Okay, so the
PACT
insulin
Act,
cap was
the
actually done under
infrastructure
Trump.
bill. Right, can I please finish my statements? I let you speak. I'd love to be
Okay.
able to do that.
I'll respond when you're done.
Curtis, thank you for the $6.69. I appreciate it on Venmo. Thank you so much. So another thing that aids to particularly the situation with the real median income not going up, well, that is actually going to be related to corporations, and to rich people, holding on to more wealth, right? And we can see this specifically because real GDP during this time period has gone up, right? So that means that GDP growth, accounting for inflation, has gone up, but we've not seen the subsequent response in real median income going up. So it means the median individual is not getting the gains in the economy that corporations are getting at their all-time profits. This
They
would have happened
actually-
regardless of Trump or Biden in office.
Like now we're pivoting, right? So now you brought up a whole bunch of, you were going to talk about
Thank you so
Biden.
much.
You were going to talk about Biden policies, right?
I'm actually describing
That's
that
what
right
we
now.
were. So the Inflation Reduction Act, if anybody wants to go read that bill, it really doesn't have anything to do with reducing inflation except to hire 85,000 IRS agents, right? So if that's what you call inflation reduction, I think it's a joke.
And thank you so much.
Also, there was an
You don't
infrastructure
understand, you don't
bill
understand
for
what you're
that.
doing there. Hold on. Taxes reduce
I do
inflation.
understand. I understand what I'm doing.
So taxes
I
reduce
legitimately
inflation. So
understand the bill.
IRS taxing people would reduce inflation.
understand.
1, 2, the Inflation Reduction Act is for long-term aggregate supply. It's not necessarily to impact current prices. That would be more or less
So
related to
it's
interest
the
rates that are being influenced by the Federal Reserve.
Right. And so when Trump was in office, the interest rates were low because there is negotiating power between the president of the United States, the administration, and Jerome Powell and the
No, Jerome
So,
Powell is
unfortunately,
basically on. No, Jerome Powell disagrees
I
with you.
said the Fed as
Yeah,
well as Jerome
Powell,
Powell.
the chairman at the Fed, disagrees with you. He is not influenced specifically by the president. He specifically said
Didn't say
that.
specifically. I
He specifically
say
said that they
specifically.
are trying to keep themselves independent of political institutions.
Please, Parker, if you're going to requote me, please requote me right. Okay. I said there is a level of influence between the current administration and the Fed. They do sit down at the table. They do have some calculated observations and risk and a profile that they talk about. And whatever comes out of those discussions impacts us all. So I just think it's really interesting that under Trump, we had very low interest rates. We had very low inflation rates. We had very good wages. The economy was doing well, and nobody's going to gaslight anybody to say that it hasn't changed in the last 3.5 years. When we go to the gas station, we feel it. When we go to the supermarket, we feel it. When we go apply for a house, we feel it, right? Under Trump, the economy was very good and stable. Two things that I think are very important in this conversation.
Yeah, so if you want to relate to this, interest rates.
I don't know if you could hear.
Yeah, I can hear you. Interest rates relate to the Fed. That would have happened regardless of a Trump or Biden administration. If you want to relate to interest rates, that's going to relate to price instability. Price instability relating to inflation, global oil prices being influenced by Russia, Ukraine, and by OPEC limiting their distribution worldwide. That is the main cause of global commodities prices going up because transportation. Let me please finish. Transportation costs have gone up across the entire world. That's why we gave some of the emergency reserves of the U.S. to places around the entire world to limit costs worldwide, to reduce the cost of commodities that are going to the United States, because a lot of commodities are produced outside the context of the United States.
So I think by using OPEC and oil prices as a scapegoat for Biden to take his responsibility out of the equation is very disingenuous. In fact, I would say that it is a moot talking point, okay, because oil prices do not have a huge substantial factor in inflation, right? There are, money supply. Wait, excuse me. Money supply is actually one of the greatest indicators of inflation. And during both, obviously with 2020 having the CARES Act that would have to be presented in a historic pandemic that we've never seen before. No president in history has ever had to deal with something like that. But also all the checks that Biden continued, or should I say money that Biden continued to have printed in 2021 also impacted our inflationary and because of the new money supply. So again, I think that using OPEC as a talking point to deflect from the fact that there are multiple contributing factors to overall inflation, and Biden did a poor job, and we've seen it now because we're 3.5 years in. I mean, we are feeling it in our pocketbooks. We've been feeling it in our pocketbooks, and on top of that, we have a border crisis like we haven't seen before.
Noah, thank you for the $3 in Cash App, and Maya, thank you for the $1.69. Okay, so you're completely wrong. That's a complete lie to say that oil prices don't have much of an impact on global commodities across the board.
I said it
oil
doesn't
prices.
have a substantial.
Yeah, I would love to finish.
Well, I just want to make sure if you're going to quote me, please quote me accurately.
I did quote you accurately.
No, you didn't. I said they don't have a substantial, there's multiple aspects to inflation, and that's not the most substantial reason for inflation.
It is. And I'll explain why. Can I explain why without you cutting me off?
Go ahead.
Thank you. So as it relates to stagflation, what was the main influence of inflation at that time period in the 70s?
Why don't you just answer? Because I know
it was the oil embargo. Okay, so oil has a huge impact on prices across the board because it relies upon how we influence transportation, energy, which impacts the price of every single commodity that is transported to be able to be sold. You understand that has an extreme impact on prices globally. Why? Because oil is a very, very huge basis of our economy, right? And energy is a very, very huge basis of our economy.
Does money supply have a great factor towards inflation as well?
Yes, it can, right? But money supply, like I was going to be able to explain if you didn't continually cut me off, is controlled by the Fed. Okay?
It's negotiated by the Fed and the federal government. The Fed is not the federal government. Okay.
No, it's determined by the Fed. There are regulators of the federal government on the Fed board, but it's determined by the Fed.
Okay, but it's based on bills that are being passed and money that's needed from the federal government. So they, in essence, contract the federal government to print that money. And for every dollar printed, there is
They
interest
don't print money anymore. They don't print money. They credit accounts. Thank you for the rhythmic.
Okay,
thank you so much, Darksided. Thank you so much.
Either way, there is money that is being tied to interest rates, which impacts our overall.
Yeah, interest rates that are influenced by the Fed. You're just talking about things that the Fed is doing. So again, what the two things that I say are most impactful to inflation: the Fed and oil prices.
Okay, so in either case, if I'm doing a contrast and comparison between Trump and Biden, and we'll say that 2020 was heavily affecting his run rate for 4 years, okay? And then if we even give Biden credit for 2021, saying, okay, he had the same impact, which he really didn't, because by that time, a lot of what was affecting 2020 was already mitigated, right, in 2021. But if we look at it evenly, and I look back at Trump's run, and I look at Biden's run, I can clearly see that Trump's run was much better for the American people.
Trump's run of what? Emily, I appreciate the sunglasses. Thank you.
Like I said, between the border, between the economy, between the stable, not only interest rates, but gas prices. Also, let's see, the worldwide stage as we know it today, which has been affected by war, funded by, the U.S. government. We were not in war for 4 years under Trump. He had a historic Abraham Accord that was established, which maintained some peace within the Middle East. Okay,
can I respond to some of these points?
And wait, no, because you also mentioned something. I'm almost done.
I'm sorry, but you said like 5 things. You really expect me to be able to
you did this too, and I forgot because you actually pivoted last time.
I didn't even. I barely said anything.
When I brought up a point before, you pivoted, and then you mentioned that.
You know what? I'm just going to establish this. If you don't be quiet, I will mute you until you respond to some of my points. Because quite literally, when you make so many points and I respond, you don't respond to like any of the points I say in response.
I did.
Like none of the things did you listen to, and this is why I have to say this because I've already. Stop talking.
I'm just giving you my reason why.
Stop talking. Stop talking. Appreciate the crown. Thank you so much. Listen for 1 second, please. Again, I've already responded to interest rates. I've already responded to gas prices, and you said it again. Interest rates, that's related to the Fed, right? That's not related to the President of the United States. Appreciate the hand up. Thank you so much. Gas prices. Wow, she can't stop. It's impossible.
There's
right?
participation between
gas prices.
government and Fed.
Okay, I'm muting you now. This is ridiculous. You're being a child. Stop being a child. Please stop. Right? Gas prices are going to be related to global issues, right? That's related to OPEC limiting the distribution worldwide and the Russia-Ukraine situation. Again, both would be the same under the context of Trump and Biden, right? I appreciate the handout. Thank you so much. So when you're saying the world stage, you have to demonstrate specifically how Biden caused these particular things to happen on a world stage. Appreciate the crown. Thank you so much. Because there was still conflict under Trump's administration. Trump, I appreciate the cap. Thank you so much. Increased military drone strikes in the Middle East by 450%. And he assassinated a top military general in the context of Iran.
Yeah. So again, your background is, will you still vote for Trump in 2024? And if you want to run the narrative of why I shouldn't, I'm telling you why I will. And yes, although some of those factors did impact our economy under Biden, a lot of what Biden has done is fueled and funded foreign wars and foreign relations. Trump did not stabilize us in those countries. He actually stabilized us in many ways. We had the historic Abraham Peace Accords, as I mentioned, low gas under Trump's administration through negotiation with OPEC, right? Because that is a part of the administration's objectives, is to make sure that America is doing good in negotiating with any of these agencies, foreign and domestic, correct?
I can't hear you because there's so much background noise. But the negotiation that you're relating to...
Can we at least say... So can we agree upon the fact that... Can we agree upon the fact... that the negotiation between the government being headed by the administration of the time is somewhat responsible for international relations as well as local affairs to DPAC?
I didn't know what you're saying because you're lagging so bad.
Can we agree on that?
I have no clue what you just said because you are on.
Well, I don't know. Okay. So can we agree? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So can we agree that whatever administration is in office has some negotiating power? They don't have authoritarian rule over other agencies or foreign governments, but they have negotiating power to either stabilize or destabilize our not only domestic experience or our foreign experience, right? So whether it's with AIPAC or any foreign ruler, right, or any foreign engagement, there is a negotiating table. And can we at least agree upon the fact that in either instance, whatever administration is in office holds some accountability to how those negotiations go?
Yeah, so you would have to demonstrate specifically that the negotiations are relevantly different, like what they're doing in the negotiations, to be able to cause this to be different. And you're relating to OPEC, by the way.
I'm relating to all negotiations, right? Foreign and domestic. So we have to have an administration that is strong in both essences, right? So if you're just going to use AIPAC for your talking point for every single thing, OPEC, I mean, I think that's
OPEC.
Okay, excuse me. OPEC. I
no,
think
but
it's
that is
a
a
failure.
major contributor. That's not just a talking point. Economists will say the same thing.
Okay, so Parker, your background is, will you vote for Trump in 2024? I've given you my particular reasons and justification why I will be voting for Trump in 2024. I talked about the border. I talked about Trump's policy when it came with the executive orders against child trafficking. So will you let me actually
respond to it, and will you respond to any of my points? Because you're not.
I did. I literally just responded.
You're not responding to my points.
We have an agreement. We can't engage if you can't even agree with the fact that the administration of the U.S. government, the president of the United States, is somewhat responsible for international affairs as well as domestic affairs.
You didn't listen to a single thing that I said. Right? Listen to what I'm saying. Okay. I said, what is relevantly different about their approach as it relates to the negotiations that means that this happened under the context of Biden, but it didn't happen under the context of Trump. What do you think? Do you think that they did something different? Or do you think that there were environmental causes?
There was something very different that transpired between the two administrations. Because first of all, there were. First of all, okay, so Biden, did he not shut down the Keystone Pipeline? Did he not do that?
The XL was already determined by courts, and
I'm not done talking though, Parker. You're interrupting me now, buddy.
You want to make like 6 million points. I'll respond to them, but it's ridiculous.
No, I'm actually addressing the one that you just asked me about. I'm directly responding to you right now. I just don't think you like that I'm educated on these matters, right?
You're not directly responding.
Actually, I'm responding. So Biden shut down the Keystone XL pipeline. Okay, that impacted oil prices significantly because the reserve was drawn down due to that. And then we also had the pipeline in Russia that was, attacked. Right? We don't know exactly by who, but we can probably have some ideas potentially. Either way, there was some things significantly done by this current administration that adjusted and had a direct effect for Americans and gas prices.
Okay, so the pipeline you're referring to, the XL, which is based upon the Keystone, it's not, all Keystone is not the XL, right? Was already determined in by the court specifically. It was just expedited by Biden, and then you said that it affects reserves. This was mainly Canadian, right? So
No,
it mainly
I
benefited
understand.
Canada. Right. So the
Right.
strategic
We
reserves
also
have nothing.
oil from
Please stop.
Canada.
Please stop. Please. The strategic reserves have nothing to do with the XL. I don't even know what you're referencing with that. And then you could not demonstrate to me something that's relevantly different to indicate that the
said
Nord
Biden
Stream
was
pipeline. It's like she's programmed to say stuff every single time I speak. Right.
No,
Give me a
I just
relevant
have
different.
a response. I just have a response.
Well, then you can wait until after. Appreciate the little crown. Thank you so much. Okay, give me something that's relevantly different between the Trump and the Biden administration that means that the Nord Stream pipeline would not have been blown up under the context of a Trump administration. And Candy, thank you so much for the $50 on Cash App. Let's get a W Candy in the comment section. Everyone, it's like with a K and it ends with an I. I appreciate the confetti. Thank you.
So you asked me two separate questions. So I'm going to answer them separately, right? So what you said in terms of the Keystone pipeline, what you said was Biden expedited that, right? Did he have to expedite it? No, but he did. It did have an effect on us. Okay, we saw gas prices actually increase right after that action by Biden by expediting the shutdown. And yes, we do get a certain amount of oil. Excuse me, we do get, you can not like how I'm answering, but I'm going to answer the way I answer. So we did see a significant increase in gas prices, and it is also because that drew down our reserves. We do get reserves from Canada. Okay, so now there's more. It's more expensive for America to buy oil from Canada because they're not pushing oil through and having that travel canal that they had before. It did impact us. Now, secondly, you brought up the pipeline in Russia. No, do we know? Again, conjecture whether or not that would have happened under the Trump administration or the Biden, but it did happen under Biden. And we don't know exactly what happened or why it happened or by who, but we can again use conjecture to think of maybe why that potentially would have happened and who would have been a part of that.
So you said we can just rely on a trust me, bro, at the end. I appreciate the money gun. Thank you so much.
I didn't say
Conjecture.
trust me, bro.
I know you didn't say
trust-
it. Let me explain what I'm saying before you cut me off for the fucking millionth time. Okay, right? Literally, like, just if you want to butt in, right? Don't just do it to be able to cut me off every single time I speak. You can just like say something like, I don't agree with that or something, right? Conjecture is absolutely just a trust me, bro. 1, 2. I already told you that this is determined by the courts. It was already established by the courts that was going to happen either way, right? And then as it relates to this, the the Keystone XL pipeline could not have an impact on prices because it was not even in impact yet. It didn't even impact supply or demand. How could it affect prices?
It did though. We literally saw it. So when you first of all,
I can
you just
send you
made
an AP News article right now that disputes that.
You just made a whole bunch of points, right? You said we're using conjecture, but I'm using conjecture because your question, it required conjecture because your question to me was whether it would have happened under Trump or Biden. And so because we didn't see Trump play out another 4 years, I had to use conjecture to even answer that question. So
That
jumping on
highlights
me
my
about
point.
conjecture is kind of weird. Like you're jumping on me about using conjecture when your question enabled the conjecture in the first place. So let's go to the Keystone pipeline again. The question is, why would there be a necessity for Biden to expedite that shutdown?
Wait, hold on. I want to respond to the first point. So the whole point of me bringing that up was to show you that you would have to use conjecture and that you wouldn't be able to establish a relevant difference between Trump and Biden insofar as that you could have you said that it operated differently. And then you can re-ask that question.
I didn't say it would. I never.
So that was
By the way, I
point to bring
never
it up.
said it would have operated differently.
That was the whole
I
point.
never said though. You're kind of adding words into my mouth that I didn't say. I never said that it would have
That's the
acted
question
differently
I
under.
asked.
I said, however, we have seen a major difference in the world stage under Biden versus Trump. And I know you didn't want to agree or even like have a conversation around the Abraham Peace Accords and the fact that Ukraine and Russia were both stable territories under Trump's leadership. Now, does he take 100% credit for that? Of course not, because there's obviously different players at hand. But he is the one that was at the actual table negotiating with Putin and with Zelensky. And while he was in office for 4 years, we have not seen what we have seen now under the Biden administration.
Every single point you're making relies upon a correlation causation fallacy. A correlation causation fallacy is essentially saying that when two variables are associated, that means that one caused the other. So just because the thing is that it's happening under the context of Biden is not indicative of Biden causing this. The same way that when there was 14.7% unemployment under Trump's administration, you don't believe that that was caused by Trump, and instead you believe specifically that it was influenced by like COVID, right? So there's outside causes that you can identify that would influence and cause this to happen under Trump's administration, but you don't use that exact same type of explanation or that same type of thought process as it relates to the context of Biden's administration. You just say, I'd love to finish. You just say, because it is the case that it happened under Biden's administration, you're going to grant some type of responsibility to him. That you have to give a reason to demonstrate that.
No, that's not true, because what I even said earlier in this conversation, I said that 2020 impacted Trump and his run on the finances of our country on experiencing before 2020. And I said, although Biden nearly the amount of significant overflow from 2020 when it had to do with into 2021, we can legitimately just give him that out for 2021. I actually did do that. And I am very fair the way I investigate and I make an assessment and I draw my conclusions. I'm not giving one an out and not the other, right? So let's take 2020 and 2021 out the picture for both, because it was really an unfair precedence for both of them to deal with, okay? But either way, we still had issues. We have so many issues, Parker, in our country right now. And it's undeniable. We are under the current administration. So at some level, we have to make sure that he is responsible and take some accountability for what has happened in the world as well as what has happened in our country. I mean, just the border. I just have a question for you, Parker. Okay, so I mentioned this earlier. I really did like what Trump did in terms of putting executive orders in place to further criminalize child exploitation and human trafficking. And then he was also having established DNA testing done at the border to ensure that children who are coming in with adults were coming in with family members. They found through that DNA testing that 30% of those children were not coming in with any family members. Okay. Now, can you explain to me if that was working to reduce the amount of child exploitation happening at the border? Can you explain to me why Biden did away with that order when he became president?
So if that is the case, that it's meant to reduce child exploitation, and it does reduce child exploitation, that's the only thing that it relates to, then yeah, I think that should be in the case, right? I'd have to look at the particular reasons why they wouldn't support it in that reason. Because the policy that I've seen that Trump supports, right, in the context of, I'm pretty sure it's called the Agenda 47, right? He says that they should get the death penalty. Okay. And I'm against the death penalty because 4% of people on death row are innocent. I agree that we need to have particular stringent.
Hold on, I'm not talking about Agenda 47. So when Trump was...
I'm just referencing his position.
Wait. When Trump... Okay, but I don't want to pivot off the topic.
I didn't pivot. I'm relating to what his position is on how the border should be handled.
Hold on, Parker. When Trump was in office, he had established that rule that DNA testing must be done for children coming in through the border. And like I said, you can go look at the statistics. 30% of those children were identified to be coming in with coyotes, child exploiters. And then he also had his executive orders to penalize these people at higher standards. Okay, I like that because I love children. I care about children. Now, why would Biden, and he did, and you can fact check this, why would then Biden, if that was working well, why would Biden literally overturn that ruling under Trump?
One, can you give me a source? Two, I already responded to this, and what I said is if it specifically, right, is for the reduction in this particular trafficking and that it does impact that and it's effective, I would be in support of it. I've already said that, and you didn't listen.
Okay, good. Well, I just want to, I guess you didn't really answer the question though. Why would Biden then because there's plenty of articles out there that show
I
that
said that I don't know. I've already said that twice
Okay,
now.
so the majority of Congress were actually pushing him to reinstate, right? There's a lot of articles about this. They were asking him to reinstate that, and he wouldn't reinstate it. So I guess I'm just wondering, like, why does he get an out on that? And why isn't there an answer of why he would legitimately overturn what was working at the border to now have a wide open border with child exploiters coming in freely? I mean, there's a loss of children
Jaden,
in
I
our
appreciate
country.
the $10 on Cash App. Thank you so much. What source do you have to reference this?
Please just look. You can legitimately find tons of articles about this.
I'm sick of people just saying, look it up, right?
Why?
Give me something,
30
right?
seconds.
When you come on my live.
It's a 30-second search because we're going up all over different
So if it's a
topics.
30-second search, why can't you have done it? Why, if it's a 30-second search,
I have
if
actually.
you've already
and
done
I
it, if you've already done it, then you should be able to tell me if it's the
I have
title.
screenshots for all these articles,
God,
but
it's just
we're
like
not
every-
on a platform. We're not on a platform where I'm allowed to share the screenshot, right?
Tell me the title.
You can look up DNA border testing for children, and then you can look up Trump
I'm
and
not gonna
Biden.
get the specific information that you're relating to, though.
Yes, you will. You will find plenty of articles that mention this. Okay, plenty. It's the same way that I found out about it as well.
Yes, but you should be relating to a specific source that you can relate to that has this particular information, but you're not. Because it's a fucking random ass point that you have done no research into.
It's not a
legitimately.
random.
Yes, it is.
It's not a random point
Can you be
whatsoever.
able to tell me
about-
something? Like
And
can
know
you
what's
just
kind of
relate to
weird,
anything
Parker?
for me?
If you've been on this app for this long debating people, you should actually know about this topic. And the fact that you don't is alarming. I'm not on this app
This is just pivoting and gaslighting me. Now you're saying it's my fault for not having your source. I appreciate that you're amazing. Thank you so much.
Why don't you know about
No,
it?
so
It's
no, stop. You're quite literally saying it's my fault not for not having your source. That's gaslighting.
It's legitimately, if you can't find it, if you can't just do, I know you have your laptop probably in front of you. If you can't just do a simple search and find anything about it, right? I don't have my laptop in front of me. I'm on my phone.
Relate to me something specific, maybe like a title, something specific to look up.
I just gave you one.
No,
I just
didn't.
gave you one. I said, look up DNA testing at the border for children. Okay, and
I
you can
understand, but that's not going to give me the specific information that you were relating to.
On that, you can add. Come on, man! It's 20. We all know how to use Google by now. Come on, you just add some keywords and then you'll find the articles. That's all. That's all you have to do. So just look up DNA testing for children at the border, and you can put Trump's name, and you can see what he did about that and what he had established. Then you can change it to Biden, and you can see that Biden literally overturned that.
Okay, so again, for the specific information that you're making, right, or that you're giving, I would love to be able to relate to something specific that can identify that information rather than having to look up something in some sort of vague sense. Just look it up. Do you realize that that makes it seem like you have no legitimate information to relate to, and that I have to do? Did I finish speaking? Did I finish speaking?
Just Google it real quick and look at.
Did I finish speaking?
I mean, it's your live. You can speak all you want.
I wasn't speaking for very long. I was speaking less than 10 seconds. Appreciate the corgi. Thank you so much. Okay. So you're not giving me anything specific here that is able to identify this. And if I have nothing specific and I have to look it up myself and do your homework, well, then you understand.
Not my homework. I've already done this homework. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm giving you some information and look it. If you really care about this information, you would just do a quick search for it. Like you'd be like, oh, that's really interesting.
I can, but you understand that I can't be able to find all the information while I'm still continuing to debate, right? So I would have to read through lots of information to specifically find what you're relating to, right? Whereas you should have already done that before you even concluded these things.
Well, I've done it. That's why I'm voting for Trump. I literally am telling you why I'm voting for Trump because I've done
But
my.
You can't relate to anything specifically.
Well, I'm sure there's an AP, The Hill. I mean, there's probably multiple sources you can find this out. But if you don't want to do the Google search, you're not going to see it for yourself. I'm not going to spoon feed you with this information. I told you what it was,
Thank you
and
so
you can
much.
go look it up if you want to, if you're even interested.
Okay,
That's how
so
people nowadays
appreciate the
get
crowd. Thank you so much.
information.
Would you say that,
Right.
like, if you were doing an assignment for school and you were relating to the context of your sources for your works cited, I appreciate. Thank you so much for the hand heart. Would you say to your teacher that, oh, I'm not going to spoon feed you the information? What the fuck are you saying?
You're not my teacher, bro.
Oh, I appreciate the
That's
subscription.
my
Thank you so
part,
much.
that You're not my
You're
teacher.
on
We're
a
having-
live in front of 5,000 people.
Wait, I know we're having a conversation. I gave
And
you
I'm asking you for a source.
I said AP in the Hill has done articles. You can look other articles up,
that
whatever
was
suits
some
your
random claim. What's the
whatever
title?
suits your fancy. Like legitimately, if you had any interest in
That's
this
just like
topic,
saying, oh,
you can-
CNN or Fox has this.
if
What,
you
what
had
title?
I didn't say Fox. I legitimately didn't even say Fox. I didn't even use that as a source. Okay, I said AP, which is a neutral source. I have seen
And what's
these
the
articles.
title of the AP News article? Because I'll look at it.
I mean, we're spending 15 minutes when literally you could have looked this up in 30 seconds, and we could have avoided this.
I have looked up things. I can't look through all the information while I'm debating you. What I'm trying to point
you
out to
can
you.
look- look up one
Turn
article,
up. What I'm trying to point out to you is that you require evidence to bring up these positions, and you have not even looked at it enough to be able to tell me specifically as it relates to a title to look up to it. You're just saying AP News did this, but there are plenty of people who disagree with you in chat who say AP News did a thing that debunked it. Appreciate the handout. Thank you so much. So provide me the
didn't,
article
though.
title.
This is not-
Provide me the AP News article title. Provide me
You
the
can
AP News. Provide me the AP News article
you can
title
you
that
can make up-
indicates you to be correct.
Okay, why don't you find a debunking? Because now you're bringing up a whole thing like it can be debunked,
I'm saying,
but you have
listen,
to
turn up.
look at the
What I'm
information.
saying is that there's claims on both of them. Can you give me the title that I can relate to? They didn't give me a
I
title, so I can't
just-
relate to that either. Both of
want
those
me to pull it
claims,
up on my
right, have
phone?
no evidence to support this current
Like, do
moment.
I need to pull it up on my phone for you? Do I actually have to do that? Because
Do it.
I know you haven't asked anybody on this panel to do this. I've watched
do.
your live
I do.
times.
That's
Okay,
a lie.
but what
That's a
is
lie.
so hard for
That's
you?
a lie. I do this all the
What
time.
is
Turn
so
up.
hard for you
That's a
to
lie.
look it
You're
up
literally,
right now?
you're actually, you have never watched me before because I do this constantly all the
have.
time.
Many times, many times
Bullshit,
I've watched
bullshit.
you.
I do this all
I
the
have.
time. Chat,
You're gonna now
if I do
gaslight
this,
me
if I
into
ask people for
thinking-
sources like almost every single call, type 1 in the comment section right now.
Yeah, so but you're gonna tell me what I haven't seen, right? Like in your lives, I've never seen you ask for a source ever. So maybe
Well,
if you
haven't
have,
been
I
in
have.
my lives enough to even know because
have.
literally I ask
And in your
people
lives
all the
many times.
time.
I've seen your lives so many times. So the fact that you're telling me what I
I'm on
have.
my lives. I think I know my lives more than you do. I'm literally the
Thank
one
you, girl.
doing it.
Thank you. So here's the deal.
I'm literally
This
the one
was-
doing it. How can you say that you know more about what's going on in my life than the
So
person
this-
who's literally the one
So
fucking
we've been
live?
on this now for 20 minutes, and the fact of the matter is, it would have taken you a 30 to 45-second just search to see if I'm even speaking correctly on it, right? But you don't even want to do that. So you want me to go
I
off
did,
screen?
I did.
Wait,
But you
wait,
see all
Parker,
the
you want me
information that I would
go
have to
off
look
screen?
through?
Hold
You
on,
see
you
all
want
the
me to
information that I would
go
have to
off-
look through?
Hold on, you want
That's
me to go off
information that
screen?
I would not be able to look through while
Yeah,
I'm
but
still
you see
debating
that it's a
someone.
valid point that I'm making, right? You see with that article that it's a valid point. Now you can
No,
decide.
I don't see the valid point that you made because I
But
would
you
have to
found
look through
information
the
on it.
information.
And you
I would have
found
to.
information.
I would have to look through the information to be able to
You
do so.
found information.
I found information that could be related to it, but it doesn't
Cool.
actually demonstrate your point specifically. 'Cause
And
I
then you
have to
can look at different
through-
sources and what they say about it.
Turn up. Stop being insufferable. I would have to find the information specifically to be able to relate to. If I can't find the information, well, then I wouldn't be able to form a conclusion on it. And right now, since I'm currently debating you, right, I cannot sift through all the information that you're relating to. That's why if you're making a claim on the context of my live, I appreciate the handout. Thank you so much. It's best that you've looked this up and you can relate a title to me and show me where I can specifically look to it in the
I
article
literally
that demonstrates the information that you're referencing. Appreciate the handout. Thank you so much. That would be
Parker,
best.
So what you just said is I don't know if I will believe it from the source, right? So how do I know if I go get a source for you if you're going to even believe that source? So that's why it's incumbent on you to actually do your own due diligence and figure out if you want to believe it or not based on the source that you'll accept or you're going to disagree with. Right? That's not my job to do that for you. But I just gave you information and really, truly, you can just go look it up if you even have a desire to. But if you don't, that's on you too. That's not on me.
It is on you because you have a burden of proof. There's 5,000
No,
people in the live. You have a burden of proof on a claim because you made a claim, right? And now you're lazy and you don't want to substantiate
No,
it.
you want me to go off screen
You said you've already
Do you
looked
want
at
me
it.
to
You should
do it?
easily be able to find
I
it. Yes.
have it. Yeah, I have like 700.
I'll give you a minute
screenshots.
to go do it. You have.
I have 700 screenshots on my phone. Okay. Yes, I do. And I don't want to go
okay.
through all
Okay. So if you have the 700 screenshots, you should be able to look at it right now. You can go to the green
No,
screen,
actually-
click the effects. Oh, wait, on your webcam thing, click on the effects thing. You can go to your green screen and show us the screenshots right now. I'll make you big screen. You can show the
I
screenshots
have
right now.
700 screenshots. I
Then
don't
show the
know how to
screenshots.
search through them.
Wait, click
You
on the
want me to
effects
go
button.
through
Click on the no,
700?
no, you can do this right now. Click on the effects button, show us your best. Click on the effects button, show us your 5 best. Click on the effects button, click on the green screen, and show us your 5 best pictures.
I know how to do a green screen. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay,
You're
so
not listening.
I'll
You're not
put you up as a
You're
split
not
screen.
understanding what I'm saying right now.
I'll put
You're
you up as a
literally
split screen. Emmy,
No,
thank you
but
for
it's not
$5 in Venmo.
You're not listening, Peter. You're not listening what I'm saying. I'm saying
You can't look at the top left and see my name's Parker.
I'm
That's
sorry,
crazy.
Parker. Sorry, Parker. Sorry, I apologize. So, what I'm saying is, I'm not going to sift through 700 of my screenshots to find the specific articles that I've screenshotted. I save them for when I reference for my own personal videos or informational when I'm sharing with a friend or I'm talking to somebody. Okay, I'm not going to sit here for 20 minutes trying to sift through all my screenshots when legitimately we've been talking about this for 30 minutes and you haven't even cared to look at a few sources on it
So
based on
you
just
won't give me 5 screenshots. And actually, I will look it up. But I told you like 4 times. I can't sift through all the information because I haven't looked through yet, and I have to read through it. I'm currently
so you want me to
in the
sift through it.
context of running a debate live right now. I don't have time to be able to go look through that right now. I can later. Right, so I could come to that back later, but since you've
look
already
it up
looked
later.
through it, you wouldn't
Look
have
it
to
up
be able to
later.
sift through it in the same type of way that I would, because I'm just
good.
looking at the information for the first time.
I know the information for myself. I'm just saying for you to be aware of the
Then you
information.
should be able
And
to
then-
find it, right? So
and
you
then
can show me
make a
where I can
determination.
find it.
You can make a determination whether or not you appreciate the information or not. That's everybody's equal right, okay? I'm giving you my
$1. Thank you so much,
justification
Michael.
for what I like
And you
about
have no
Trump.
justification.
I do, because I'm placing a vote for Trump. So these are my reasons. That was what I was answering to the screen that's behind you. Why will you vote for Trump 2024? I am telling you my justification for voting for him because of the research I've done for myself to make an educated decision for myself. It's my vote, okay? As a U.S. citizen, I have the right to vote for who I want to. And this is based on the
Even if
research
it's low information.
it's obviously it's a lot higher than your information since you didn't even know about this. It's actually a lot higher.
That one thing.
Yeah,
there are
it
plenty
shows
of things
that it's
I
a
could
lot
relate to
higher.
that you
No,
wouldn't know,
I
right?
know.
That was one
You know what
thing
I
that
like?
I haven't
Okay,
heard
you
about.
want me to
And
go-
again,
you want me to
as
go
it relates to
through
this,
all the
you're just trying to
You want me to go
gaslight
through all the
and you're
bills
trying to
I like?
pivot. You're
You
trying to
want me to go?
pivot. Oh my
You want me
God,
to go
bro.
through all the things I like? I can tell you everything
Go
I
for
like
it.
about Trump. Do you
Go
want
for
me to
it.
go through all of them?
Go for it.
Because when I tried to before, you interrupted me and you said that's too many points. So stop.
You're
Yeah, you
fucking
did.
kidding.
I was literally
you have
going to give you all my
interrupted me
bullet
every single time I've spoke.
So when I started going off the bullet pointed reasons why I'm voting for Trump, you literally cut me off after my second bullet point, and then you said that's too
Because I
many.
was
We got
letting
to
you speak too much, right? And I was trying to address all the claims, and when I was addressing multiple points, you weren't addressing all of them. So I was not seeing a productive conversation in the current way that we were having that conversation. And I said that, and you didn't listen to any of the information that I brought up. So I'd love
I
for you
did.
to be able to
I
understand
did address
anything that I
every
have to
single-
say, instead of every single time I speak, cut me off. You're being insufferable. You're quite literally one of the most I debate people every single day for 6 hours every single day. You are one of the most insufferable people I have ever talked to.
That's great, and it's
I've been
because
doing this for years. I've been doing this for years.
Good for you, Parker. That's amazing. I'm an adult woman. I have children. I am giving you my reasons for why I'm voting for Trump. Now, you can disagree with those reasons. That's your right as an American citizen, okay? I'm giving you my reasons based on what you had in your background. Now, if you want to debate each and every bullet pointed reason why I'm voting for Trump, we can do that one by one. But if I can't
Let's do
even
it.
give you my top 10 reasons, then we're not even going to get anywhere in this
Give me
conversation.
one by one. Let's go one by one.
Okay, so I like the the freedom of medical choice that he had it under his term, and the one that he's also going to reinstate when he wins presidency again.
What medical
I do like the fact that he brought. Yes.
Oh, no, we
yes.
said one by
free
one.
cho-
Don't go to a second one. One by
Right
one. What
to
was the first
try,
one?
the Right to Try Act. It's the Right to Try Act, okay? And that means that for those people who have, let's say they are on they're in hospice, right? They have a rare cancer, whatever it may be, and there is a unique potential solution out there for them. They can actually choose and elect to try it if they so want to. I think that's freaking amazing. Okay. So the Right to Try Act, like I said already, the border policies that he had, I like the fact that he was
I thought we were
DNA
going to do
test-
one-on-one.
Wait, I said the bullet points and now you're going to cut me off. I said I'm going to name all the
We
bullet
said
points.
we're
We
going to
can
go
one for one.
one-on-one. No, I did not want to hear all your bullet points right now. We said one.
The Right to Try Act.
Oh
What do you
my
want to
God,
talk
turn
about?
up. Oh my god, it's gonna make my brain go insane. We literally said we're gonna go one-on-one, right? And then you're just like, oh, I'm gonna list out every single bullet point I have. I
No,
did not
I was
ask for
saying I was
that.
going to list them out.
Please,
That's
just
what
stop.